Hey guys, it's Ta. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. So today you're about to see part 2 of the unboxing of the Once Upon a Book Time Christmas box. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll go ahead and link it down below and you can check that out. So without further ado, here is part 2. Enjoy. Day 7. So today's story is Fear of Flying by Megan Songer. And I thought this one was super cute. This is about Felicity, who is a school teacher, high school teacher. And she is going to a bookathon type convention center where it's going to be authors and stuff and a panel. And one of the people that she likes, who is a reviewer, is going to be there on the panel, and she's super excited to meet him. She even bought the extra pass where she could take the picture with him. And then there's an other side of the story is a guy named Nick, who was also going to this convention. And little do we know, he is the vlogger, the reviewer that she enjoys, but he keeps himself anonymous, so nobody knows what he looks like. And this will be like his first appearance on a panel, so this will be the first time anybody sees what he looks like. So she meets him on the plane. They wind up sitting near, like within the same row, and there's a lady in between them. She's a great grandma, and she has a fear of flying. It's her first time, and so they help her through taking off and landing, and they, spark up conversation, and they both figure out they're going to the same places, but he never tells her who he is. And she also talks about her favorite reviewer. And in his mind, he's like, I know I need to tell her, but I don't. Well, at the end, instead of telling her, he puts a book in her bag and writes a note and like, see you tomorrow at the panel type thing. And it was just a great start to a friendship and possibly more. It was super cute. They shared lots of books that they've read and stuff, and her favorite quotes out of certain books. It was just adorable. So absolutely loved day 7. So the story, the line for this one says, a brand new book sat snuggled against my old one, making it look frumpy in comparison. So for day 7, we know we're gonna get a book. And also, something else is in here. The book reviewer has like these little keychains that he sells, and she saw it, and he's gonna slip that to her too. So, day 7. Let's see what we get. Heidi McLaughlin, After All. And this says, Brooklyn Hewitt hasn't stepped foot in Cape Harbor for 15 years, not since an accident claimed the love of her life, Austin Woods. Desperate to move forward, Brooklyn has focused on raising her daughter for the past 14 years. But when the opportunity comes along to renovate the old Driftwood Inn, Brooklyn knows it's time to go home. But it won't be easy. For one, Austin's best friend, Bowie Holmes, still lives in Cape Harbor. Brooklyn hasn't quite been able to forget him, not since the night they spent together. The same night they both lost Austin. Separated by tragedy and guilt, they were brought together by the Driftwood Project. And as they rebuild the inn, they discover they're also rebuilding something else. Brooklyn's always been desperate to move on, not knowing that she first needs to reconcile past transgressions. She can't forget, but she can forgive Austin, Bowie, and herself, and her way toward long-awaited happiness. So, like a second chance, I guess, like friendship or life, basically. All right, and then there's a signature card. Which is super cool. What else do we have? Oh, there is a note, because remember I told you he slipped the stuff inside of her bag. This is the note that he wrote her. And this is the keychain. There's no book so bad that it does not have something good in it. Don Quinota Miguel de, I can't read it, it's very small. this cute little keychain. So yeah, I absolutely love a little keychain, and it's super cool to get a signature on a book. I have a special place for these, and a cute little note. So day 7 was great. Now we wait for day 8. Day 8. So this story is called Full Scale at the Center of the Universe by Danielle Robertson. And this one was super cute. This is about Theo. He is 19 years old and he works at a miniature store. He's been working there since he was like 16, and he lives above it in like an apartment. And what they do is the lady who owns it, Grandma Dot, she is well known for miniatures, like miniature houses with all the little pieces. And he works there and sets up like the scenes and stuff. And he gets really upset when people touch certain things. And like, for instance, one of the kids took the ice cream out of one of the miniatures, and he's like, no, you can't take it out, it's gonna melt, blah, blah, blah. So Grandma had to remind him, like, hey, it's polymer clay, it's not gonna melt, it's fine. But he's like super protective of these things. So then in walks this girl. She's actually gonna be renting an apartment there as well, on the floor above him. And she is opposite. She is like looking for big adventures. She's a book influencer. So she's there looking for the big things, and he's all about miniatures. And they both figure out that they share the same birthday, and they decide to like start hanging out and stuff. So he shows her the joys of the miniatures, and she shows him the joys of like the big things. Like, they went to the world's biggest bookstore, or New York's biggest bookstore, and then they walked across the biggest bridge, which isn't the biggest bridge anymore, but it's still big. And it's just really cool to see them go back and forth, being with each other's interest. So I'm assuming after the story, they kind of start dating maybe, I don't know, but it was cool to read about how obsessive he is with his little miniature things. And the present for this one, the miniature book is dusty with age. The cover is simple, Jane Eyre embroidered in gold thread. Like I said, she is a book influencer. She has a online presence with book reviews, and he got her something for her birthday, which is in this little bag. If I can get it open. And I did. Okay. So, it's a little ornament, and it's her favorite book. And it's a miniature book for the tree. Super cute. Definitely going to put that on my tree, or maybe on my shelf. I don't know. But we are almost done, guys. We have 4 more stories and 4 more gifts to open. So, I will continue reading tomorrow these little short stories and see what else we get to open. So, come back tomorrow. Day 9. So, today's story is called Wellington's Gate, House for Retired Ghosts by Haley M. Bertling. And this was a unique story. This one was about the Library of the Realms, and they have people that they hire or whatever, and they let ghosts, as they call it, out of the book. But it's really just retired characters from said books, and they get to pick where they want to, like retired librarians or whatever, they get to pick a book that they want to live in. But the catch is they have to stay in that book until they're released out. Now, they do it seasonally, from what I can understand. And this is the winter season. There's going to be a winter's ball. And in the beginning of them letting the ghost, I say ghost, out, one particular book person comes out, and he's not supposed to be out. He escapes. They can't catch him. And they spend all the time looking for him or whatever, and they can't find him. But then whenever they're supposed to go to this ball, the intern, the extra, she gets put in this carriage, and come to find out it is the person they were looking for all day. He brings her to this location, and come to find out these people are wanting to not be stuck in one book at all times because they don't like it, and they don't want to be forced out once every now and then for the different seasons type thing, especially in winter when they're used to summer temperatures. They are trying to say, hey, I want to be let out all the time, like, you know, more times throughout the year, and why can't I be in different settings? So they're going to see if she can, I guess, put good word in for them and maybe get them a different schedule. So it was pretty interesting. So for the quote of this book, it says, on the nearest bookcase, I noticed an unstable heap of books leaning against a bookend that bears a remarkable resemblance to me and my ball gown. And the ball gown she is referring to is the ball gown from the night circus, because she was able to select whatever she wanted to wear, and that's what she chose. So the person that she is interning for went ahead and pulled that dress out of the book for her, and it fit her like a glove. So day 9's gift comes in this box, and I'm pretty sure it's a bookend because it feels very heavy, like metal. So let's open it and see if it's 1 or 2. Okay, are you gonna come out? Oh, it's 1. Oh my goodness. That is so cute. So a nice bookend to put your books against, and she's holding it up for you. So day 9's gift. I wonder what the next 3 are going to be. I know 1 is a book, because you can tell. It looks like the other 3 books that I got. But the other 2 things, I have no idea. So I will see you when we open them. Day 10. So today's story is called The Gift of Love by Annie Ray. And this one is about Kyla, I think her name is. Let me make sure. Kaya. And Kaya is a teacher, and she is also Cherokee, and what she has decided to do is to hold classes before school and like at the local library or whatever to help her area remember their heritage and learn the Cherokee native tongue. And in her classroom, over the course of however long, she finds little gifts from like a secret admirer. She has no idea who it is, and like one day it's a pair of toe socks because he's like, I know you get cold. Another time is a book that she really enjoyed reading, and it was a Cherokee story. And then she figures out who it is, and it is her sister's brother-in-law. Her sister just got married, and she was the maid of honor, and he was the best man for his brother. And he tells her, like, he finally reveals who he is to her, and he happens to be getting her this book that she wanted. And he says, I remember you saying at the wedding you were so busy you forgot to pre-order it. And she was like, yeah, but I looked all over and I didn't find it locally. He said, no, I found a copy like in another town. And she's like, oh my God, it's like 40 minutes away. And he's like, you did such a great job with the wedding and everything else. Like, I really wanted to get this for you. So it says, I grin up at Caleb, plucking a familiar shape from his makeshift wrapping. So we do know it is a book. And it's something she was anticipating getting, but she forgot to pre-order. And apparently it's a popular book. So let's see what it is. And it's in this cute little bag. And the book is The Unlikely Adventures of the Shergill Sisters. Sometimes you have to leave home to find your roots. Oh, this is the same author as the story I read about the erotic stories for the Punjabi widows. And I really enjoyed that story. I thought it was hilarious. And also very, I learned a lot about the culture because I didn't really know a lot about Punjabi women. So this one is by the same person, and this says, the British-born Shergill sisters, Jasmine, and Sharinia, barely got along growing up, and as adults have grown even further apart. But on her deathbed, their mother voices one last wish, that her daughters will make a pilgrimage together to the Golden Temple in Amritsar to carry out her final rites. After a trip to India with her mother as a teenager, school principal Rajni vowed never to return. But she's always been a dutiful daughter and cannot even now refuse her mother's request. Struggling actress Jasmine leaps at the chance to drop out of sight. Unbeknownst to her sisters, she's escaping the wrong kind of internet fame. Baby of the family, Sharinia's wealthy in-laws are pushing her to make a pivotal decision. Time away will help her decide whether she will obey or stand up for herself. By turns, funny, heartfelt, pointed, and wonderfully insightful, the unlikely adventures of the Shergill sisters illuminates the bonds of family, sisterhood, and heritage that give us wings and roots despite our differences. So this is going to be another look into the culture, and just to see how they handle things, and just to see how the three sisters are going to come together and bring out their mother's final wishes. So I'm excited to read this one. Like I said, I enjoyed the other book the author put out, so I'm hoping this is going to be an enjoyable read as well. Day 11. So Day 11's story is called Pedro and the Prince by Elizabeth Meadows. And this one was a little story about a boy named Pedro who he unfortunately lost his grandfather, which was his best friend. He was 10 years old. He lost him right before his 10th birthday. And him and his grandpa spent all the time together. And it was 2 weeks prior, pretty much, to his birthday that he lost him. And he just couldn't deal with it. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to associate. He didn't want to go to school. So they gave him time off of school. And then the night of his birthday, he found a gift on his bed. And it was from his grandpa. Now, Grandpa didn't actually wrap it. Mom did, because she found it in his belongings, and it was made out to his grandson. So she wanted to make sure he got like a final gift from his grandpa. And it was a story about a little boy who was a prince, and his father had to be called off for something, and it was weeks, and he still wasn't back, and he was missing his dad. So he stopped doing everything that he normally did with his dad, and just stayed to himself. And his mom tried to pull him out of his shell, but it wouldn't work. Well, one day she decided to go off and do something, and unfortunately there was a flood and they couldn't find her, but he knew where to find her, and he saved his mom. And his mom was so happy that he was like, "Oh my God, I almost lost you." She's like, "No, it's you I almost lost, but I have you back now." So you're reading the story, and like the little boy, the mom helps him find a way to deal with the loss of his grandpa and be more present. And then when you get to the end, it's actually him retelling both of these stories, the book and his child life story, to his child when she turned 6 years old. She was born on his birthday. So they have like he wants to start that as a tradition. And so after he put her to bed, he went downstairs, and his mom and his wife were there, and they did the tradition of his mom giving him a cupcake with pretend candles, because like she had forgot to buy the candles that year. So he makes a wish and he blows like there would be. So it was a cute story about how to come over grief, like for small children. And it was just, I kind of started to like tear up whenever I realized he was the one retelling the story. So for this one, it says, speaking of traditions, his mother gently removes a bottle of Cabernet from the well-loved wine chiller in the middle of the table. So this is day 11's box. It's one of our bigger ones that we've had so far. Let's see what it is. And I'm assuming this would be like a wine. Put some ice in it and you put wine in it. And it has words written overhead with a rustling something. Not sure what story this is. But it's cute. And it can be used for other things, obviously. It's just silver on the inside. So that is a great gift. And I could probably use this in the kitchen for like utensils because I don't drink wine. I tried. I can't find one I like. They all taste like feet to me. And I even went back because I got married like, what, 11, 12 something years ago. 2009. And we had an Verdi, V-E-R-D-I, to toast with. And I really, really liked it. So a couple weeks ago, I bought a bottle. I was like, just, you know, I couldn't even get 2 sips down. It was horrible. So I don't know what it is. So if you know of any good wines that do not taste like actual wine, let me know. Maybe I can try them and like them. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the final day. Oh, I'm so sad it's over. Day 12, the final day, gift, story, everything. So today's story is called Weave the Wind to Silence by Megan Klinker. And this one is about a king that they call the Shivering King. Zev is his name, and he carved his kingdom out of the side of a frozen grasp of the frost giants not long after the mountains first settled into their eternal slumber. So he's always cold. They say he has a frozen heart, and he always has fires burning. He can never get warm. He's basically, they told him that he wouldn't have enough wood to last through the winter because like he burned fires all through the summer and everything else. And he's like, well, we're just going to put a tax on lumber. Go find every tree that you can make it fall, all this stuff. And then the hunters come in and they have like pelts and stuff that they're going to sell. And this one woman is going to sell these pelts and they just look really bad according to the king. You know, they're flea bitten, they're just funky. And he's like, this isn't going to do anything for me. So she tells him that, hey, I heard of this girl who can sew or weave a tapestry or whatever that even the north wind will stop because it's going to be so beautiful or whatever. So she takes him to this town. It's like a 3-day ride. And they get to this house and it's mom, dad, and quite a few kids. And the king basically says, you will give me the daughter that can weave said tapestry. And they're like, well, she's never woven anything that beautiful before, but okay. Like, they didn't want to, but he said, either that or I'll kill your youngest daughter right now. So she has to go with him, and they said that if she doesn't do the assignment, she will be fed to the wolves. But if she does the assignment, then she will be made queen by midwinter. Well, they put her in like this chamber, and they tell her to start weaving. So she's weaving, she's crying, she's sad, she don't know if she could do this. And then the moon shows up, and the moon talks to her, and he's like, here, and he gives her like a piece of his light. Try this. So she does that. It doesn't work. And then the northern lights show up, and they give her a piece of light. And that doesn't work. So then finally, Lady Destiny shows up, and she gives her something, and she's like, look, weave this into your tapestry, but like, don't look at it. Make sure the king is the first one to see it. So she calls down, and the guards get the king in there, and he's like, well, today's the day. Like, you either get fed to the wolves or you become queen. So she unveils it or whatever, and the tapestry basically sucks him in. And once he is in the tapestry, she says, okay, I did what he asked, and I was told I would be made queen. And the guards that were there to pick her up were like, well, yeah, we have to. So they invited the whole family in the town she's from, and she is now the queen. And the tapestry is hanging above her throne, and it has like wolves and stuff in it. So the north wind, it doesn't really mess with them anymore. Like, it still blows here and there, but it's not all the time, and like it's actually warmer there now. But every time that the wind does blow, it makes the tapestry shimmer, and it's like you can see the king inside of it. So basically, he stuck there forever because he was such an ass. And it just shows, like, if you're nice, you won't be trapped in a tapestry. So this one says, King Zev looked upon the tapestry, and his hand flew to his heart, where it lay frostbitten in his chest. So I'm assuming this is the tapestry. Because I knew it was like a canvas something, because you can see it and feel it, and it's thick. So let's see what it looks like. Ooh, all the little particles. The Velveteen Rabbit. It's just a tapestry you can hang with a quote. It's very thick. Very, very thick. So, I thought it would have a picture on it the way the book made it, but apparently not. So, that is the final gift. Now I have to fold it back up. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this box. I sure did. I definitely feel like I got the money's worth on the gifts. And these are, I really enjoy opening these boxes. I like little presents, and this is exactly what you get. So, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.